Brown and something.
Brown and Root.
Brown and Root, right?
You had Brown and Root, and you got to follow. See, Halliburton.
Yeah, let's get to them.
Ooh. Brown and Root.
Boy.
Then you got it's KBR. That's the new name. Kellogg Brown and Root. KBR. You got Halliburton. Yeah, that's the same people. They just keep changing the name around.
Right.
But it's the same people. The Carlyle Group is comprised. The Carlyle Group was founded at the Carlyle Hotel in Manhattan, on Madison. Powerful people. And you will find that all of your secretaries of defense in the last 30, 40 years have been members of the Carlyle Group.
Which is Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Secret societies.
They have major contracts. What they do, they handle most of the defense contracts for countries across the globe.
Across the globe, right? So war is good for this country.
And they're making money. I bet if you check, you'll find
plan based on the economy.
not only are they making money off the U.S. government, but they're making money off the Iranian government. They're making money off the Afghan government, the Pakistani government. Because they're supplying military arms to all of these countries.
Wow.
And one plane is what, millions of dollars for one plane? Come on.
Well, you can bring it all back to weapons of mass destruction. By election time, 204, we found out that that was a lie. But you would think that America would wake up and elect a new president. But what were our choices? You had two guys running from Skull and Bones for president. This is another secret society out of Yale. All right? Now they're running against each other. What happens? Bush steals the second election. All right? Now what happens? We're going whoa.
Al Gore didn't even put up a big stink about it.
He was part of the scheme.
They probably said, if you do that, then we'll do this. Understand, like Dick said,
How can you find it?
there's a file. And if you dig deep enough in anybody, you're going to come up with some stuff. So you have the file ready, and when you get out of line, it's like a massage therapist, you know, or your babysitter, whatever the case may be, or, you know, you ordered some Victoria's Secrets, sir. Would you like that to come out, Hoover?
What are you wearing right now?
So
if we can pass on
wag the dog, you know.
I mean, come on. How many young people know this? How many people know this?
But they're not on the 6 o'clock news and not on Good Morning America saying, hey, good morning, guess what happened in your world last night?
You know, you can see Clinton and Bush working together collaboratively the last few years. And you say, wow, you know, these two guys politically, there's no real difference between Democrats and Republicans.
Of course.
A few minor things, but the relationship between Clinton and Bush, Herbert Walker Bush, they collaborated on a number of things before Clinton came to the White House.
Right.
And if you get a good book, there's a good book called Clinton Compromise. Compromise. Clinton, Bush, and the CIA.
Wow.
I'll say read that book for a start. I'll give you a list as we go.
Okay.
When that book came out, I went to Barnes & Noble to get it. They said, oh, you can't get that book. You can't get it. Oh, no, they're not letting that book out.
Fahrenheit 451 here?
Why? Why weren't they letting it out? Wow. Because it gave you the history of Clinton and Bush going back over the years when Clinton was a governor in Arkansas, when they had the rebels in South America, the funding of the rebels.
With the guns?
With the guns. And the government said to Bush, we ain't giving you any more money for this. And how did Clinton get
guns
money?
For coke, what?
The cocaine.
Right.
And it was flown into Arkansas. Clinton was the governor.
Right.
The Arkansas State Police offloaded the cocaine. The munitions plants to make the guns were in Arkansas. They put the weapons on. The cocaine was distributed as crack across the country. We had 2,000 homicides in New York thanks to the stuff that Clinton and Bush were doing. That was just in New York. If you read this book, Charlie Rangel, because you brought Clinton to Harlem, read the book, you'll see what you have done to this community, not just before Clinton got here, but boy, he got the White House as a result. Clinton compromised. Clinton, Bush, and the CIA. I can't remember the author's name.
Is he part of the Carlyle group?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it goes into the depths of people who stumbled across this munitions plant in Arkansas. They killed 2 white boys who stumbled across this place in Arkansas. They said they got hit by the train.
I was gonna say, if anything ever happens to 3 of us, let this document. No suicide notes will be found.
The families of the boys who were murdered to this day, and these are 2 white kids that were murdered. They have been trying to get justice for their sons who stumbled upon the cocaine operation in Arkansas. And you gotta remember, you don't put the head of your assassination squad into the White House. Herbert Walker Bush was the head of the CIA.
And look what happened to Reagan. We did a show on that, where Reagan was almost assassinated by Bush. I mean, you got to remember, Bush in 1980 ran against Reagan in the primaries, the Republican primaries. Bush is the one that came up with voodoo economics, which we all remember, right? This was Reagan. And that started the whole Republican overturn of America. Really, from then on, after Carter, you got Reagan in there, and that's, America disappeared. It was land of greed and self-centeredness. You know, all of the 80s was nothing but a slaughter of our own rights.
At the time of the Kennedy assassination, there are a number of future presidents in Dallas that day. I was watching a documentary, and one of them is supposed to have been Herbert Walker. I got to go back.
He was in the CIA at the time.
I got to go back and find that tape.
He was in the CIA at the time.
In
Was he?
63, I don't think he was not in 63. No.
He doesn't go back that far?
No, in the CIA. I don't think so.
Okay.
But
he was big in oil.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's always been oil, man.
That was his home state.
Was he working with Saudi Arabia back then?
I don't think he was in Saudi Arabia, no.
Well, he had been in Saudi Arabia 30, 40 years, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I saw that in a documentary.
I'm not sure.
Put this way on the bottom.
Yeah, please. Let me just...
Well, I said something wrong. I said a lot of things wrong, but my colleagues here sort of correct me every now and then.
Right.
Well, we all
from here now, so...
We're working with the VP.
What do we do? How do we correct this?
Oh!
How do we correct it?
How do we reverse it? How do we correct it?
We gotta pray for Obama.
We gotta pray for everybody.
We have to follow
We've
his
been praying
lead.
and politicking for hundreds of years, and I don't know.
Obama can't fix this.
You know what I say about... I use the analogy, growing up in New York, back in the day, I used to frequent the clubs. Something that you go through as a teenager.
Right.
Yeah, but I worked, so that's another story. But
everybody worked back in the day.
No, I worked at the clubs.
Oh, you worked at the clubs?
Oh, you worked at the clubs. Oh,
explain that. Because people might
just help with marketing and PR. Would make sure that they do their.
Not a go-go girl,
no, I'm afraid not. That's my thing. Go, girl. Go reel you back in. Come on, guys. No, but we always knew when a club was going out of business because they let us in on a particular night. And the pattern never ceased. The red parrot was on 57th Street. They turned it into a skating rink, and then they turned it into something. And when they finally gave us a black night, closed down. And you could look at every club. So I say that with the presidency, it's like, they gave the brother the White House. We get ready to go out.
When we talked about
it's over.
When we talked about Bush and
New World Order.
The New World Order, which is Daddy started, actually.
There'll be one money. There'll be one world. There'll be.
That's the Illuminati.
He didn't start it. He spoke of it, but he didn't start it.
And that was 1990.
1936, 37, the Secretary of the Treasury had Nubis Ordo Secularum placed on the transverse of the dollar bill.
Mm-hmm.
That was under Teddy Roosevelt. It's on there. Look at around the pyramid. It says New World Order, Second World. No, it's New World Order. That's Latin.
Well,
It's been on the dollar bill since the
Masonic.
30s. Well, the Masonic is one thing, but the Masonics are not running.
Illuminati?
They're not running the world. No, they're not running.
Or is it Carlyle Group is what?
Well, you got to look at the Illuminati, the Bilderbergs.
Yeah.
You got to look at the House of Rothschild.
I was going to say,
And their control of the. You got to realize that the banks of this country. We have had depressions in this country that were brought on by bankers.
Right.
Intentionally.
Right.
When Jefferson, I think it was Jefferson, was president, he was threatened by a banker. They had a depression because they wanted to bring the federal bank in, the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know it's not part of the government, which it is not. It's just a group of families that control that. And you can't even get the names of those families that are in that bank. You can't get that information. But they control the banking system. But Jefferson said no, and I can't remember who the guy's name was, but he caused the depression in the United States back in the 1800s. So these guys are serious. You know, it's all about the money. It's not about patriotism. Halliburton and Cheney, these people are not Americans. They put the flag. They don't care about the flag. It's about the money. Halliburton's world headquarters is in Dubai.
That's right.
They had U.S. military guarding the land when they were building their world headquarters. U.S. military was guarding the land.
You might as well we might as well coordinate this whole effort to bring us up to 206 and then to 208 and maybe even with BP in the spill to find out how Halliburton was involved with the DPs.
Right, in the construction, in the pouring of the cement.
There's Cheney again. Cheney in the game. Involved with the spill in the Gulf. So, I mean, it all relates to the beginning of all this with the Bush family in 2001 and 9/11 to weapons of mass destruction, the theft of the second election in 2004 with two skull and bones running.
Well, isn't it a requirement that the president be a member of the...
Well, that's where we're going to get to Obama. Now, why is he in there?
Yeah, I don't know. Did they let him in?
He's not a blessing from God, as we all felt. I mean, anything better than Bush is a blessing from God. You know, that was my revelation. Thank you, God.
I was thinking of something else relative to this situation in Arizona with the Mexicans. Right. The storm that's come up from that. The same thing is going on in Israel. Right. Israelis are expatriating children
that were born
in Israel, but are children of Arabs and Palestinians. They're sending the children out of Israel. These people, they're real racist. These people, they are what is called Zionists.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that Ahmadinejad, this is his contention. He said, I don't hate Jews. I hate Zionists. I hate Zionism. And the two are not synonymous. They're not. But they are sending, I think, 800 children who have never been outside of Palestine, outside of Israel. They're shipping them over the border to Egypt. This is not being reported in the American press. Wow. But the Jews have gone beyond what's going on in Arizona. We haven't shipped anybody out. These children were born here, and the Israelis are sending them back into Egypt.
There's another travesty. Of course, you remember the shows we've done in Jews Against Zionism. And we're going to get Rabbi Weiss and his information back on the show. I'm sorry we run out of time. See what happens when they're having fun?